Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Deadfire with me, Bring It On. Let's speak to Berta.
Why do you bother me, little kith?
You enjoy working here?
No?
She hawks a fat goblet of spit. It lands beside the food she's preparing and splatters.
The gullet reeks of illness. The beds are too small. An imp tried to nest in my hair. And Firna, the tavern keeper, refuses to give me more than 1 day off a month. How am I supposed to hunt when I am chained to this stove?
She scrunches her face into a grimace.
Maybe I'll become a pirate. Get myself a bird and an eye patch.
Hey, I'm not little.
You're all little to me.
She squints, her broad sloping brow wrinkling in consternation.
Little and squishy.
You should join my crew.
How do you mean?
She narrows her eyes and regards you with renewed interest. We've need of a cook, and I admire your, work.
I don't work for free.
She grunts. Sure. You have 450 copper. Will this satisfy you? She examines your coins for a moment. They look tiny in her giant hands, almost like a child's plaything. She shrugs.
This will do. For now.
She pats her meat tenderizer thoughtfully and gives you a small nod. Neat. Only one point to cook. And a little odd since that's why we hired her. Also works as a helmsman. Alright, let's speak to Seduzo. This Rawatian sits ramrod straight. On the table near her are a half-empty liquor bottle and a small porcelain cup. Both smell of anise. It looks like she's trying to blend in. Her unnatural stillness and her bright, spotless attire make her stand out like a reef fish against the rocks. Her eyes find yours.
Harami!
I am here, Seduzo Nui.
Do we expect today a scramble route merchant?
Seduzo keeps her eyes on you even as she speaks to the soldier. There is only a brief pause.
We do not, Seduzo Nui.
The captain shifts uncomfortably.
Then state your business quickly. I want to avoid another surprise.
She glances around quickly, as if she expects someone to jump out of another corner of the tavern. What's your business in Nekataka?
Nearly done, I hope. I sold a consignment of iron and cultural coral, and will return to Rawatai with vorals, merkberries, and Andra stars.
She shifts in her chair, looking at her conspicuously clean and bright clothes.
Are you writing that down?
She raises an eyebrow at Seraphine.
Nay, lass. We're merely moved to a momentary bout of verse by the beauty on display before me.
He clears his throat as he secretes the scrap of paper into a pouch. Let's hear it, Seraphine.
They're very bawdy rhymes, Cap. Not meant for prim and proper mercantile types.
He rubs the back of his head. He looks at Seraphine as though he were a particularly talkative rodent. She turns back to you.
Anyway, that's what brought me here.
She fidgets with her cup. You seem nervous. Does the Royal Deadfire Company know you're trading here? She sets her glass down with a loud clatter.
The Royal Deadfire Company would frown on business in this district. But there's no harm if they don't know.
She laughs nervously.
What is your business with me?
Sorry, I said I see. Did you cross paths with a man named Botaro?
The one who threatened me. I shall not soon forget him.
She stiffens. She raises her cup for another sip, scowling into the liquor.
These Huana learn too many pretty words from the Valians. You cannot trust what they say.
What exactly happened?
This fellow wanted passage on my ship. As if I were the village ferryman.
He tosses back the rest of her drink a little too quickly.
I told him there was none to be had. Certainly not at his price.
She upends her empty cup. Then what? She refills her cup and sets the bottle down hard.
He told me he had coin. Lots of it. I did not believe him. How could a man who lives in a garbage heap have enough money for passage?
She shakes her head.
So you assumed the worst and threw him to the wolves?
No, you presumptuous Adiran. I assumed nothing until I saw the swollenette.
A swollenette.
A marked coin. A token of allegiance. The Principe carry them.
Go on.
I knew then that I was dealing with a pirate. I had heard they were influential in the Gullet, but I did not realize how much so.
She scowls and shudders.
I called for the guards, and they dragged him away. That is the last I saw of him.
Bia and the children study passage out of the city.
There's nothing I can do. The passenger quarters have been reserved by a dwarf named Orin.
He picks a stray thread from her mouth. Crisp jacket. Sorry, from her smooth, crisp jacket.
Why do you bring this to me?
I said mouth. Alright, let's actually hold off on this until we've searched for Botaro below. Tell me about Orin.
He and his people are Goldpact Knights. Orin is... particular.
She looks at her crew, and they nod in agreement.
Perhaps that is good. He just finished a contract to guard the Valian Luminous Mill. I hear animancers are also particular. He's upstairs. Just do not interrupt him if he's arranging things.
She and her crew exchange another quick glance. Farewell. Yeah, if we can find Botaro and send him with Bia and the children, there's no reason not to.
Will do. Yeah?
Sure.
Huh?
Right, just in case things go south,
Huh?
we'll position like this. A dwarf sits before a generous and curious spread. Steamed mussels arranged in concentric circles. Rounds of flatbread stacked in a neat tower. A melon sliced in even triangles. Yet his attention is focused on the 4 cups and the bottle in front of him. He has the cups organized in an almost perfect square around the bottle. But as you look on, he leans down to adjust one. The others with him wait quietly and observe the ritual. Let's wait. Holding his breath, he takes the bottle and measures an equal serving of wine into the cups, making 3 or 4 passes over each. His companions look on with practiced patience.
Don't see why you'd spend all that time arranging your food if you aren't making it look like a funny face.
At last the bottle is empty, and he places it in the exact center of the square. He picks it up and puts it down in the same spot twice more before he's satisfied.
I didn't see what Seduza was fussing about. Nothing wrong with being tidy.
Aloth leans close to you, then turns back to observe.
Cheers.
They all take their cups and drink deeply. At last, the leader turns to you.
What do you require?
What brought you to the Deadfire?
We had a contract with the Valian Trading Company to defend one of their most valuable properties.
He glows with pride.
If you're looking for work, I hardly recommend them. They pay well, and they pay on time.
He raises his cup, and his companions do likewise. Seraphim leans nearer you, grinning.
Consistency in the shipping lanes. Good for types mercantile, but better for types piratical.
Did you say something?
Just admiring your spread, my lad. Nothing better after a meal than a ripe pair of melons.
I hear you've bought passage on Captain Suduzo's ship.
Indeed. The good captain has 4 adequate berths, all equally sized, all facing the same direction, and she's promised to leave promptly. A most agreeable arrangement.
He sips his wine. What would it take for you to cede your spots on Suduzo's ship?
Out of the question. We're due in Takoa for another contract, and the client has already paid the advance.
He sips from his cup and immediately runs a folded handkerchief around the rim.
And we have already paid Suduzo. I couldn't possibly take back the same coins I have already spent.
He shivers with dread. I'll make you an offer for your berths on Suduzo's ship.
A Goldpact Knight is bound by his contract, and ours binds us to make all possible haste to Takoa.
He squirms and sets his cup down in the exact middle of a water stain, lining the base up with the edges.
Booking passage on another ship on such short notice would be most expensive.
Oh, interesting. I'm also a Goldpact Knight, and I'm bound to help a woman and her children.
That doesn't release me from my obligation. I must reach Rawatai with all possible haste.
Yeah, this isn't about your contract. This is about having things your way. He shifts and wriggles, tugging his sleeves as if to pull them back into place. He says nothing for a moment, but his silently twitching mouth confesses his discomfort. At last, he sighs.
I still must make other arrangements, but I could afford a small loss, given our mutual affiliation.
He glowers at you. Yeah, I feel bad calling him out on his OCD like that.
But I still require some consideration from you.
That seems fair. It does seem fair, because I am having another Goldpact Knight break his obligation to pursue my own. The contract is the end-all, right?
I do hope you demanded a reasonable fee. It wouldn't do to tarnish our reputation here.
The mercenaries downed the last of their drinks.
When next we see each other, I'll expect a boon from you. No questions asked. Until then.
They file out of the tavern in a neat, even line. A boon. Well, I'll see what I can do, I guess.
Huh? Mm-hmm.
Not a god.
Subtle indeed. It is done.
Oh, Forsaken Cat.
On it.
Dude the Six Toes Cat. While Dude the Six Toes Cat is following you around, you regain some health when you deal the killing blow against an enemy, and your party is less likely to be hit by attacks. What an awesome name.
I've got it.
And Deus, or Deus. While Deus is following you around, you receive a bonus to Constitution, and your party members regain some health when they kill an enemy. That's the third pet we found with that health on kill effect. Now, I won't speak to Suduzo until we've found Bataro. Dead or alive. But first, I want to go look at the black market. So we know where that's at. And I'm assuming when we descend the elevator, we're going to be in a proper dungeon. Because we were warned that the undead are down there. I should probably rest up before we do that too. So let's actually go back in here.
Need something? What you need? I've got just...
Got a couple abilities that were on cooldown. We don't want to go to the black market underprepared.
Huh?
A man saunters over to you with a jagged smile. He's got a long crooked scar on his forearm, and he's rolled up his sleeve up to flaunt it.
You must be new. Lucky for you, we have a special rate for newcomers. A bag of coppers in exchange for your life.
He brandishes a knife. One of his companions grins widely enough to show you all of his missing teeth. But the way they're all gathered around you, leaving their own backs exposed, tells you that they haven't been here long either. You're newer than I am, which means you're poaching on someone else's territory.
Told you.
One of the others punches the leader's shoulder. The thugs look at one another and exchange a few panicked whispers.
It seems we've made a mistake. Forgive and forget, no?
He smiles, backing away. They hurry off and disappear back into the crowd.
Sure.
Looks like I did miss out on experience by not fighting them. That's quite alright.
Huh?
Okay, I think it was to the right, forward. Here we go. Inspect the merchant stall. Laid out are various trinkets made from junk, necklaces strung with fish bones and shoe buckles, bracelets made with shards of broken glass. The curtain sways and flaps as if it stirred by a draft. You twitch it aside, discover a secret passageway. Alright, go through the curtain behind the merchant stall. You check the tunnel one more time to make sure no one is watching. Then, you slip behind the curtain into another passageway. You're walking along when several hooded figures materialize out of the darkness. Not so fast. You gotta pay a toll if you want to visit Delver's Row. Good folk. Open markets are vital to a healthy economy. Would you turn away a paying customer? They look at each other and shrug. Last time I came through, there's a man with a scar. I paid him. They shrug and stand aside. You continue on, and the rough stone changes to smooth cobbles under your feet. One lamplight shivers ahead, as yellow and tremulous as fear itself. Before you is a narrow cavern that writhes with shadows and echoes with the music of jingling coins. Enter Delver's Row.
Right. I'll see what I can find. Yes?
Will do.
An Orlan woman stands over a table laden with herbs and spices. She mixes them without looking at her work, pausing now and then to raise a sprig or file to her nose. You realize she is blind.
It's the smell of cardamom that drew you, no? Or perhaps the sting of fresh pepper. Or maybe you seek something with a stronger bite.
She swivels her ears, but her cloudy eyes do not find you. What do you sell?
Food, of course, and supplies for the road. Though most here come to me for poisons and venoms.
I'm looking for medicine to cure Drowner's lung.
Then you'd best ask elsewhere.
She leans close and lowers her voice.
But careful. If the Mataru overseer hears there's a sickness, might be he has more questions for you.
She raises her brows over sightless eyes. I need supplies.
I have plenty. Though, if you're buying poison and ailment, mind you store them separate.
I found a typo.
Aye?
I shall. On it.
Several paintings look identical, down to the signatures copied in the corners.
Looking for something to sharpen the senses? To help you leave your sorrows behind? I got what you need.
Sounds sketchy at all. Let me see what you have. Solution. Oh, an ingredient. That's the name of the product. A figure in the shadows looks up at your approach, pursing his lips together in a crooked line.
Think you made a wrong turn, Bilger. You don't belong in the row.
The name is Donald.
I know who you are. I make it my bag to keep my eyes on the new fish that end up in the gullet. You're the type of scab that bores me. Feel free to piss off.
I'm not allowed to go back here?
I've got it.
The alley narrows to a dead end. With a furrowed brow, he glares at you but says nothing. I'm looking for a cure to Drowner's lung.
Keep your rotten ass away from me, Langer.
He takes a step back from you.
You want to talk to a Valian that goes by Ernetzo. He runs a shop down the street, here in the row. Don't tell him I sent you. And don't say I never did you any favors.
Thank you, Rust, and farewell. Furtive whispers and footsteps rise from the lower street. I thought that was flooded. Oh, well, there's the man we're looking for.
Our buyer in Defiance Bay needs another shipment of Sveth.
Not so loudly, but send it at once.
Alright, quick save. We'll see what's in this chest.
It is done.
Alright, I assume that lockpicking the door will aggro these folks. I'm not going to do that yet.
Indeed. How may I help?
Ernetzo has not seen you before. You must be new. New or very good at disguises.
The man chuckles. He peers at you through half-moon spectacles. Alright, Dumbledore. His face is hidden behind a thick but well-groomed beard. His eyes constantly dart between you and the doorway.
Ah, but you are the one the Roparos speak of. They are most fond of you. but not so discreet.
He waggles a finger.
But how did you hear about this place? Wait, no. Do not tell me. Sometimes it is better not to know. There is something I can get for you, yes? Tell me quietly.
He leans in. I need supplies.
Of course. Only do not tell anyone where you got them.
Rari Cuirass. Legendary light armor. +4 armor rating, +1 armor rating. And segmented scutum. 10% of incoming hits converted to grazes from weapons. The now extinct, the giant lizards known as Garari once roamed the many islands of the Deadfire. They were fast, powerful, and cunning predators, hated amongst kith for their tendency to kill domestic goats and pigs, if given half a chance. When foreign colonists arrived in the archipelago, many local governors placed an open bounty on any Garari. The creatures were soon hunted to oblivion. Now rare to a lack of available material, hardened Garari leather armor such as this is quite desirable, as it is tough and naturally flexible. Also very expensive, holy jeez. That seemed pretty good. Oh, and the red hand. Nice, so it's inaccurate, -5 range accuracy with arquebus attacks. Blunted criticals, -15% crit damage. Unfit for melee, -10 deflection against melee weapons. Veil piercing. No description for that. Exceptional. A double barrel fires 2 shots before reloading, but has a reduced range. And no rest for the wicked. 1% damage dealt and received on kill until rest stacks 20 times. The young brigand who once wielded this arquebus had not intended to become a murderer. Those he threatened down the twin barrels had a simple choice. All they had to do was hand over their valuables and go on their way. The gun was intimidating enough. No one was supposed to get hurt. When an old Amoa priest decided to fight back, the brigand acted on instinct and pulled the trigger. It took 2 shots to put the fool down. The killing got easier after that. In fact, it became the rule rather than the exception. Searching corpses was simpler than robbery, and just as lucrative. He kept the gun with him at all times, even while he slept. His dreams were filled with a morbid parade of those he had killed. Over the years, he found his heart hardened. He could feel nothing, not even regret. Unable to reconcile the young man he had been with the jaded monster he had become, the brigand, numb and resigned, used the gun to take his own life.
There is something I can get for you, yes? Tell me quietly.
Alright. I need medicine for Drowner's lung.
Eh? I hope you are not ill. But never mind. If the Mataru come asking, I will not tell.
He winks and taps his lower lip, backing away from you just a little.
But Drowner's lung is very serious. Very deadly.
He clucks and shakes his head.
The cure is not cheap. But how can one put a price on good health?
He grins marvelously and waggles 8 fingers on the countertop before you.
On the other hand, you are a Goldpact Knights, no? Maybe you do something for me, and we consider the medicine your payment.
He raises his eyebrows hopefully. Also, 2 Goldpact Knight interactions in the same episode. That's cool. Tell me.
There is a certain merchant here who needs to not be here.
He draws a finger across his throat. Go on.
This merchant runs a shop at the end of the street. People know it as the Spindleman. If you get rid of it, then I will give you the medicine.
He nods, his spectacles flashing in the candlelight.
Hold on, not so fast. Do they call him that because he carries a spindle, or because he's got spindly legs?
He studiously ignores the dare. But what do you know about the Spindle Man?
Merla, it is a dangerous pest.
He crosses his arms and shudders. I bet you it's a Vithrak. That's why he called it an it. And the spindly bits, because they are reminiscent of spiders.
When it dug its lair, it did not even ask permission of their... of the boss.
Good way to be getting slit-stemmed astern, that.
His scarred lips frown. You keep saying it. This merchant isn't Kith, is it?
It is a Vithrak.
Called it. He leans close to give you a conspiratorial whisper. Is that all? He shakes his head.
They say it is a mind reader. We in Delves Row are simple folk, quiet folk. It does not do to have a mind reader nosing among us. You understand me, yes?
He inclines his head toward you. Alright, well, farewell.
Come on, let's get a drink at Furnace.
It's early. We'll go when it's dark.
Fine. I don't know how you tell down here.
Alright, I'm gonna call it here. Next episode, we'll continue through Delver's Row. Hopefully convince the Vithrak to leave non-violently. We've been doing a good job of being able to talk people down. We've had so many options. We also have, I think, 3. We have Bluff, Streetwise, Insight, a little bit of Intimidate as well. I thought we had... I haven't seen Religion come up a whole lot. Or Metaphysics, for that matter. Well, either way, I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.